Finally speaking out about Jay Blades, Steve Fletcher's revelations validate what repair shop followers have long assumed. Working with Jay is simply amazing. He interacts with people in such a natural way, and I believe he's the ideal person to be there with you if you're feeling anxious or sad. The cherished BBC series has long relied on their relationship, but recent developments have left viewers wondering what's going on. This story explores the reality of their relationship, from a touching reunion to rumors of changes occurring behind the scenes. Time to speak the truth. Come along as we examine Steve and Jay's narrative and the mysteries that link them to the history of the repair shop. The unplanned encounter. Everyone was surprised by what Steve Fletcher revealed. The fan base of the repair company was rocked by a picture that the master clockmaker shared online. He was there, grinning with Jay Blades, appearing at ease and content in spite of everything that had transpired. The picture was posted on Fletcher's Instagram stories, with a statement that gave out more information than most people anticipated. He wrote about stopping off his secrets from the barn tour to have tea and chat with Jay. Fans were immediately stunned by how casual it was. Here, Fletcher was meeting in public with a person the BBC had cut ties with. The picture of normalcy that Fletcher's exact words depicted stood in stark contrast to the turmoil that surrounded it. He added a witty comment about the tea being great as well, and he talked about stopping in to see Jay for a cup of tea and a nice conversation. There appeared to be ease and familiarity between the two men based on this playful contact. The horologist's choice to cancel his scheduled professional tour was a powerful statement. Fletcher's career endeavors beyond the repair shop were symbolized by the secrets from the barn tour. Taking a break from this commitment to see Jay demonstrated his priorities during this trying time. But there was more to Fletcher's statements than meets the eye. "I hope to see Jay again soon," he said. This visit was not a one-time courtesy. Contrary to what many people believe the repair shop staff felt about their former colleague, this implied an ongoing relationship. Fletcher's actions were all the more important because of the timing. For months, Jay Blades' significant legal troubles had dominated the news. Episodes that starred him had been canceled by the BBC. On television, the majority of people would avoid such debate. The opposite was done by Fletcher. He made a strong statement by choosing to make this moment public. His affiliation with Jay Blades was not a secret. He wasn't acting in accordance with the conventional wisdom of separating from a contentious individual. Rather, he validated the long-held suspicions of many fans regarding their true friendship. Words couldn't express the tale that the picture itself conveyed. The two men were truly delighted to meet one another. Their postures showed no signs of strain, false smiles, or embarrassment. Regardless of the outside conditions, this was a reunion between two friends. In the picture, Fletcher's body language conveyed a sense of familiarity and comfort that only genuine connections can provide. Behind the doors of the workshop, for those who worked in the repair shop, it had always been more than just a TV show. Jay Blades and Steve Fletcher collaborated in the Weald and Downland Living Museum studio in West Sussex for 7 years. Their working connection developed into something more profound than what producers could write or what cameras could record. Steve's latest remarks regarding Jay are particularly poignant because fans adored their effortless chemistry and frequently commented on X about how they seemed like best friends. Fletcher had seen Jay grow from a timid newbie to a self-assured host capable of managing any circumstance. When the repair shop opened in 2017, Jay had a lot of energy and a natural ability to empathize, but he didn't have the same in-depth craft expertise as his co-stars. One of his quiet teachers, Fletcher imparted knowledge about restoration methods and the perseverance needed for their complex work. In the beginning, Jay would linger around Steve's desk, inquiring as to why a clock's chime was off or how to identify a worn escapement wheel. Steve helped Jay understand the talent behind every tick by carefully explaining each step in his calm teaching manner. From the start, the expert horologist saw something unique about Jay. Fletcher noticed Jay's sincere interest in traditional crafts and his appreciation for the craftspeople who do them, whereas others might have only seen a presenter. Their relationship was built on a foundation of genuine curiosity that went beyond the demands of television. When Jay saw Steve restoring a Victorian clock in one of the 2018 episodes, he informed the team. Steve's hands are like a history lesson. That moment stayed with Steve, demonstrating Jay's passion for the craft and strengthening their relationship. They frequently spoke outside of the camera, during breaks, in between shoots, or after exhausting days in the workshop. With the eagerness of a real student, Jay would absorb every detail as Fletcher explained the complexities of clockwork mechanics. These exchanges fostered a confidence between them that viewers sensed but cameras never caught. They sat up late drinking tea and discussing why antique clocks are like family to their owners, after filming an episode about a grandfather clock for 2020. Fans on X sensed their connection and posted, "Steve and Jay are like brothers in the barn," implying that they were indeed pals. In ways that pleased the seasoned artisan, Jay showed respect for Fletcher's knowledge. Fletcher's expertise in mechanical restoration and timepieces would be respected by the host, allowing the horologist to focus on his area of expertise. Their working relationship was built on this mutual regard. Jay stood aside to allow Steve to demonstrate how to fix a music box in a 2021 Christmas special, and he was ecstatic when Steve was able to get it to sing once more. Their collaboration was evident in that moment, as Steve's talent was enhanced for the audience by Jay's warmth. All of the professionals developed special relationships in the workshop setting at the Living Museum. Although each craftsman had unique abilities and viewpoints, they all had similar beliefs about preserving history and assisting individuals in re-establishing a connection with cherished family items. Jay and Fletcher were especially in agreement with these more profound goals that went beyond simple amusement. They bonded over the show's goal to mend more than just artifacts, frequently talking about how a patched item, like a restored 2022 episode's locket, may ease a family's loss. Fletcher observed that Jay's emotional connection with workshop attendees was an excellent match for the technical know-how. Jay realized that broken objects frequently held terrible memories, strained relationships, or broken emotions. Fletcher was amazed by this emotional intelligence, which improved his interactions with guests. In 2019, the owner was moved to tears by Jay's kind inquiries concerning their late father's music when a guest brought in a cracked violin. Steve later acknowledged that he had picked up certain listening techniques from Jay. They became friends as a result of the common difficulties that come with making television. With numerous retakes and technical issues, filming schedules can be taxing. While Jay's energy and excitement kept Fletcher interested in the show's larger goal of healing and education, Fletcher's composed demeanor and systematic approach assisted Jay in navigating these demands. Steve's patience kept Jay calm during a difficult 2023 shoot with a complicated camera setup. Jay then lightened the mood with jokes to keep the team focused. Despite Jay's difficulties, which came up from time to time over the years, Fletcher had a clear understanding of his friend's personality. He looked past news stories and rumors to the person he knew well from everyday interactions. The dispute develops. For the repair shop and everyone connected to the cherished program, a storm in September 2024 changed everything. Jay Blades was accused of using aggressive and domineering tactics on Lisa Boson, his separated wife. Jay Blades, a BBC presenter, has been accused of using abusive and domineering tactics on his divorced wife. Fans who had grown to view him as a kind, compassionate person were stunned by the accusations, which presented a troubling image. The accusations had nothing to do with minor disagreements or miscommunications. According to court filings, Lisa had at least 2 episodes of violent dread as a result of Jay's actions between January 2023 and September 2024. The legal words detailed a history of coercive and controlling behavior that seriously affected her psychological well-being. These charges were deeply hurtful and went against Jay's public image as someone who restored damaged artifacts and made people feel better. Supporters found it difficult to understand how the man who restored treasured memories could be connected to such grave allegations. The BBC took swift action, removing Jay starring programs of the repair shop from their schedule. To demonstrate how seriously they regarded the accusations, they also substituted an episode of Garden Rescue for a rerun of David and Jay's Touring Tool Shed. Is a program centered on emotional healing and family-friendly storytelling. The problem that resulted from these charges extended beyond Jay's private life. Other broadcasters did the same. A Country House was paused in time by Channel 5, and preparations for a second season of The Odd Couple, featuring Judi Dench, were postponed by Channel 4. The incident caused Jay's once thriving career life to start to fall apart. In November 2022, Jay and Lisa Boson, a fitness instructor, got married in a Barbados seaside villa. Fans celebrated their wedding, which was a fairy tale event with only 15 attendees. However, Lisa declared their split on Instagram in May 2024, writing, "I am really broken," and disclosing that she had only taken a bag of things with her when she departed. The tweet was made the day before West Mercia police, who had been summoned to a domestic violence residence, began their investigation on May 3. Fans were devastated by how quickly their 18-month marriage fell apart, going from a fantasy wedding to a formal separation to criminal accusations. According to court filings, Jay's actions started 40 days after their wedding, which presents a concerning image of a rapidly failing relationship. On October 11, 2024, Jay entered a not guilty plea in Worcester Crown Court. He wore a dark suit and spoke simply to verify his identification and enter his plea. Due to problems with the fitting company, Judge James Burbage KC withdrew a bail condition for an electronic tag and denied a request to hold portions of the hearing in private. A pre-trial review was planned for August 2025, delaying the trial, which was originally slated for May 6, 2025, causing months of uncertainty. It is approximately 2015. Your life was at a very low point, yes. I believe Jay was also charged with using his phone while driving, but the charge was dropped on September 17, 2024, at Walsall Magistrates Court, because the prosecution did not present any supporting documentation. Jay resigned from his positions as Chancellor of Buckinghamshire New, where he had studied philosophy and criminology, and ambassador for the King's Foundation, as a result of the accusations. Changes were also made to Secrets from the Barn, the live tour of the repair business. Contrary to reports, certain shows in Glasgow, Edinburgh, and Newcastle were rescheduled because of scheduling difficulties rather than cancellations. Fans who hoped to see Jay with Steve Fletcher and others were unhappy when he was secretly removed from the tour's lineup and left out of promotional materials. Jay appeared disengaged from the legal drama on social media during this time. He hinted at a 2025 comeback in a September 2024 post on winding up filming, referring to it as the end of a beloved novel. Fans found it difficult to connect his cheerful online persona with the severe allegations, as he posted nostalgic repair shop footage and even staged late-night Mixcloud live streams, presenting himself as Jay Blades MBE and conversing with a small audience. Divergent opinions were expressed in the comments about X. While some fans felt deceived and found it difficult to connect the accusations with Jay's TV persona, others cheered him on, thinking he would clear his name. The loyalty test by Fletcher. Steve Fletcher was put in an impossible situation that put all of his beliefs about loyalty, friendship, and civic duty to the test. Serious accusations against his buddy and co-worker had the potential to imprison Jay, in addition to ruining his reputation and job. For Fletcher, it was an easy decision: remain silent or keep his distance completely. Fletcher made no decision. As the scandal developed, the community of repair shops had to confront the consequences. After years of working with Jay, the cast members found themselves in unfamiliar territory. The other experts on the show were noticeably silent regarding Jay's predicament, which may have been due to legal advice, personal boundaries, or a general lack of confidence in how to react. Fletcher took a calculated risk by breaking that habit of quiet, which might have repercussions for his career. Supporting someone who is being charged with such serious crimes, particularly one that involves allegations of domestic abuse, could permanently harm his image. Sponsors may stop providing support. His judgment can be questioned by broadcasters. And if he seems to downplay grave accusations, fans may turn against him. The master horologist's entire career had been based on accuracy, dependability, and credibility. In addition to technical expertise, each antique clock he fixed needed the full confidence of its owner, who was entrusting him with priceless family treasures and priceless fragments of history. He approached friendship with the same care, loyalty, and dedication to restoration, rather than disposal, that made him successful in his trade. Fletcher's Instagram post was thoughtfully written to show his sincere support for his friend while navigating social and legal complications. He made no mention of the accusations or the court case, instead concentrating on their friendship and shared past. This distinction demonstrated his keen awareness of the complexities of the case and his wish to stand by Jay without seeming to downplay or deny the accusations. As expected, the public's and fans' reactions were divided, reflecting larger societal disagreements over how to respond to such circumstances. Fletcher's bravery and dedication in supporting a buddy during the crisis were commended by some. Others said that his support would give the wrong impression regarding claims of domestic violence, and questioned whether he should be around someone who is facing such severe charges. Multiple intentional messages were conveyed by Fletcher's choice to make their meeting photo public rather than private. He wasn't trying to hide their friendship or feel guilty about keeping it going. He respected the judicial system and the rights of all parties, while having faith in his assessment of Jay's character. He made it clear that this wasn't meant to be a farewell visit or last act of friendship, by expressing the hope that he would meet Jay again soon. Regardless of public opinion, career repercussions, or even possible legal repercussions, Fletcher intended to keep their connection going. This degree of dedication demonstrated the sincerity of their relationship, and Fletcher's faith in his friend's moral fiber. What fans had always suspected. The fact that Steve Fletcher publicly backed Jay Blades validates what many ardent supporters had long assumed about their actual connection. Their friendship, which was founded on sincere respect for one another, and a personal bond that went beyond their work responsibilities, went well beyond the television cameras in the workshop. A close examination of the repair shop's 7 seasons revealed hints of Fletcher and Jay's smooth connection that stood out from other cast interactions. The slightly stiff politeness that frequently defined relationships between television colleagues who worked together but didn't socialize outside of filming seemed absent from their interactions, which seemed natural and spontaneous. As host, Fletcher frequently yielded to Jay's authority, while also providing discreet direction and assistance when required. It's a strange experience, in my opinion. This dynamic, in my opinion, implied a degree of respect and trust between them that went beyond their formal responsibilities on the show. Jay was more than just Fletcher's host. In his darkest moments, he was a buddy worth standing by and protecting. Over the years, astute viewers have noticed the subtle ways in which the horologist's protective instincts toward Jay were evident during filming. Fletcher would occasionally cast a sympathetic gaze at Jay when the experiences of workshop guests grew very touching or overpowering. Jay would naturally turn to Fletcher for backup or clarification when technical explanations were too complicated for non-technical listeners. Based on sporadic social media exchanges over the years that suggested a relationship going beyond job commitments, fans surmised that their friendship persisted outside of the workplace. Posts that were shared, comments that were exchanged, and mentions of private discussions indicated a level of communication that would not be required if they were just coworkers on television. Something significant regarding the sincerity of their relationship was demonstrated by the timing of Fletcher's visit to Jay. While many others might have found reasons to keep their distance, he made the decision to reach out and offer support during one of Jay's most trying and isolating times. This has nothing to do with professional networking, convenience, or exposure. In the midst of a personal crisis, it was true friendship in action. The extent of their relationship and Fletcher's evaluation of Jay's actual nature were demonstrated by his readiness to openly back him at the expense of his own reputation and professional opportunities. He reasoned that his friend's health and their shared past were more important than possible repercussions on his career or public censure. The stakes for the profession. Given the serious professional dangers involved in his choice to openly support Jay Blades, Steve Fletcher's show of loyalty is all the more impressive and noteworthy. Regardless of judicial outcomes, personal beliefs, or the presumption of innocence, the television industry rarely tolerates involvement with controversy, especially in the contemporary context of heightened sensitivity to personal conduct. With new presenters and a devoted following of viewers who have grown to adore the show's structure and philosophy, the repair shop continues its prosperous run without Jay, without any issues or challenging inquiries from sponsors, broadcasters, or producers. Fletcher could have simply disassociated himself from the whole affair and carried on with his prosperous career. Fletcher's public support of someone facing such serious allegations might have a big negative impact on his undertakings, particularly his Secrets from the Barn tour, which was in progress when he met Jay. Because of their connection to the contentious museum site, venues may reevaluate reservations, sponsors may decide not to support the events, and audiences may choose to boycott them. The financial strains and career ramifications of Fletcher's decision, along with working with Jay, make it even more significant and show his dedication to values over practicality. In the internet age, reputational harm may happen quickly and irreversibly, and television careers can be delicate. Despite being aware of these dangers, Fletcher decided to live up to his moral principles. All cast members and related personalities were under more pressure as a result of the BBC's official stance on Jay. Although the company didn't specifically prohibit communication with Jay, their prompt decision to cut him off of broadcasts made it obvious to everyone involved in the show what kind of response they preferred. Fletcher demonstrated extraordinary independence of thought and conduct by choosing to disregard these implicit expectations. Throughout the dilemma, other repair shop professionals remained cautiously silent about Jay's predicament. which was likely the safest and more professional course of action. Bring in watches, clocks, and other items, and make them come back to life. Fletcher's readiness to speak up and take the chance of being the only one standing by him demonstrated that he valued his moral character more than peer pressure and job security. Fletcher was somewhat shielded from career harm that could have destroyed someone with less professional standing because of his well-established reputation as a great craftsman and a respected authority in his area. Regardless of his personal scandals or unpopular stances, producers and viewers valued his skills, knowledge, and expertise. Given that his scientific skills and established reputation offered some protection from total career ruin, the horologist's sense of professional security may have encouraged him to follow his convictions. Because of this privilege, he felt obligated to make good use of his position, which included helping a buddy in need. Additionally, Fletcher's endorsement gained credibility due to his professional status, could sway public opinion, and give Jay important emotional support throughout the court case. It shows depth and intricacy beyond the surface accusations and media coverage when someone with his reputation and experience keeps up a friendship with an accused individual. Lasting effects. Beyond only their friendship, Steve Fletcher's decision to speak out about Jay Blades has an impact on how fans see judgment, loyalty, and the intricacies of interpersonal relationships. What many assumed about the distinction between private reality and public perception is confirmed by the horologist's conduct. The entertainment world and beyond are affected when someone with Steve Fletcher's reputation decides to stay friends despite the issue. This potent illustration of loyalty in action has produced a model for how others should handle comparable circumstances. The reunion of Steve Fletcher and Jay Blades sends a strong message to other friends and coworkers who may be having trouble making the same choices on preserving ties in the face of public turmoil. The horologist shows that helping someone through a tough moment doesn't mean condoning everything they do. It just calls for acknowledging their humanity and preserving a relationship founded on first-hand knowledge rather than popular opinion. His method demonstrates that sincere friendship and condemnation of particular actions may coexist, allowing for both compassion and accountability. Steve Fletcher's position has wider ramifications that affect how the general public views celebrity relationships. Steve Fletcher affirms that when individuals respect one another and share real experiences, real bonds may form even in artificial settings. His ongoing friendship with J.B. Blades gives hope that genuine human ties can endure even in the most scrutinized public settings, by demonstrating that not all television relationships are created for entertainment purposes. For J.B. Blades, the public endorsement of Steve Fletcher is vital proof that those who know him well still cherish their connection with him. This endorsement from a well-respected colleague has more weight than anonymous public support. An endorsement like this, from a person of Steve Fletcher's caliber, could affect how other people perceive Jay's circumstances and his prospects for the future. But devotion to the horologist is not dependent on these results. When Jay is at his lowest, the support gives him something priceless. Evidence that his personality, as perceived by those closest to him, is still deserving of respect and friendship. Most importantly, Steve Fletcher's choice to act, rather than write a lot of comments, to break the silence speaks to his character and ideals in ways that go much beyond this particular circumstance. The horologist lets his decisions speak for themselves, validating fan theories that he values genuine connection above social positioning and substance over notoriety. This strategy shows that big gestures and public declarations are not necessary for genuine support. Sometimes, the most effective messages are sent by silent, steady activity that is more potent than words. How do you feel about Fletcher's choice to openly back Jay? Does loyalty have boundaries, or should friends support one another through accusations?